I never imagined I'd be the kind of woman who needed to hire a private investigator. But then again, I never imagined I'd betray the man who once looked at me like I hung the stars. Michael was my husband for 6 years. Kind, patient, the kind of man who brewed coffee before. I woke up and remembered the little things that mattered. But somewhere along the way, I let temptation win. One mistake turned into months of lies. And then, one morning, he was just gone. No note, no calls. His things were missing from the closet, and so was every trace of warmth from our apartment. At first, I thought he just needed space. Maybe he was trying to punish me, or maybe he was heartbroken. But as the weeks turned into months, guilt gnawed at my insides until it became unbearable. I called his friends, his mother, even his old co-workers. No one had seen him. It was like he had vanished into thin air. So, in a desperate attempt to find him, and maybe beg for forgiveness, I hired a private investigator. His name was Joel, a retired cop with tired eyes and a quiet voice. I told him everything. He didn't judge me, just nodded, took notes, and promised to see what he could do. 2 weeks later, Joel asked to meet in person. My heart pounded as I walked into the little cafe where we had arranged to talk. I braced myself, unsure of what I'd hear. Maybe Michael had started a new life. Maybe he hated me. Maybe he never wanted to see me again. But nothing could have prepared me for what Joel said. He leaned in, slid a folder toward me, and spoke softly. "I found your husband, but it's not what you think." He paused before continuing. He's been living in a small town under a different name. He didn't just leave. He disappeared on purpose, because he's dying. The words hit me like a punch to the chest. Joel explained that Michael had been diagnosed with late-stage pancreatic cancer a few months before he found out about my affair. According to medical records and hospital reports Joel uncovered, Michael had only months to live when he left. He hadn't wanted me to know. He didn't want to be pitied. And maybe, just maybe, he didn't want to give me the chance to feel better by taking care of him. He left everything behind, including his pain, and disappeared into quiet solitude to face the end alone. I sat there numb, the folder open in front of me. There were photos of him, thinner, tired, but unmistakably him. One showed him sitting alone on a park bench, feeding birds. Another had him smiling weakly at a nurse outside a small clinic. He looked peaceful, as if he had finally found a silence the world couldn't interrupt. Tears blurred my vision, not just from guilt, but from the aching truth that I would never get to say goodbye. He didn't leave because I broke his heart. He left because his heart was already breaking. Joel offered to take me to him, but I said no, not because I didn't want to see him, but because I realized I had already done enough. Michael chose to disappear with dignity, and I wouldn't ruin that. I wrote him a letter instead, pouring out everything I had never said. I don't know if he ever read it. I'll never know. But in the end, some goodbyes aren't spoken face to face. Some are whispered into the quiet, where love once lived and still lingers.